Hello, my name is Julia Karen Castañeda Diaz, and today I'm going to talk you about the Cold War. So, to start with, the Cold War is a restricted virility that developed after World War II between the United States and Soviet Union. The term Cold War refers to a state of political hostility and military tension between two countries or power blocs, involving propaganda, subversion, threats, economic sanctions, and other measures short of open warfare. Next, I'm going to talk about 10 most important dates on this Cold War. Berlin blocked an airlift. This was on June 26 in 1948. This was a turning point in post-war II, World War II. The Korean War on June 1950. The things got really hit between Sovietics and the USA. Space Race, October 4, 1956. USA and Sovietics had an intense rivalry about space and who can get the farthest. Then recognizing plane in May 1st in 1960. USA had a plane trained to spy on the Sovietics and Sovietics shot it down. Bay of Pigs, April 17, 1961. USA tried to invade Cuba but failed. Then Reagan visits the wall, August 12, 1961. Reagan visits the Berlin Wall. Cuban Missile Crisis, October 1962. This was the closest USA and Sovietics actually fought. Strategy Arms Limitation Talks, November 1969. This was one of the first steps to slow the arms race. Sovietics invade Afghanistan, December 1979. The USA and Sovietics each backed a different side, and this led to the USA boycotting the 1980 Olympics. Reunited Germany, November 9 of 1989. East and West Germany reunited. East Germany was no longer communist, and there was evidence that the Warsaw-Pact days were numbered. Now I'm going to explain the systems of socialism and capitalism. Socialism aims to serve the need of persons. They decide who needs to have the most merit, which is the persons who have less than the others. They try to make equilibrium. Equality will always exist that to make justice. Otherwise, capitalism is defined as an economic system in which a country trades industrially and profits are controlled by private companies instead of by the people whose time and labor powers those companies. So here we can see that the ones who have most always gonna have most, and there will not be any equilibrium, and sometimes they are going to be oppressed. The United States and other nations are used of capitalism. They can make their own decisions and they decide how they want to work their money. Now I'm going to talk about the interview. I made this to my grandmother and she doesn't really remember very well, but this is what I got. And the first question is, who were the leaders during this period? She said that obviously USA and Russia had the leadership, but we had USA near, so we were influenced by them. And also, who were allies during the wars because of enemies. She didn't remember that very well, but she commented USA and also allies began to become enemies due to the difference of ideas. Where did the Gulf War take place? Well, it started because of USA and Russia differences, but it started or it take place. It take place in USA, a part of Europe, and Russia. What was the general public opinion of this Cold War? It was affecting a lot. Many people were scared of actually saying what they thought because of if they're going to be killed, what was going to happen to them if they say the incorrect thing, stuff like that. So everybody had different ideas, but in general, they said that they were being affected a lot. The type of, of weapons that these two world powers had in their hands were bombs, nuclear bombs, guns, missiles. And here, in the perspective of Mexico, there were scared that if they send bombs or missiles, they would they would hit Mexico because we were near USA. So it can also affect us, even though we weren't really into the fight. And now, my opinion. Well, I think that socialism and capitalism are really different aspects and ideas, but what I think is that the way that they make uh, this world and the way that they affected all world was a little bit tough. I think that I can tell why some people choose capitalism, which was most chosen by other countries, and also I understand why socialism, but it was a little bit risky, and in my opinion is really most fair socialism. But many people are really arrogant and egoist and prefer their own benefits than all the benefit of all. So capitalism is what they or most prefer. There were a lot of people affected. It's all in the past now, but I think that maybe because the reason that they started this wasn't the best, and I think that there are better ways to go through this problem without a war, because there was going a lot of wars in this period, which the countries were really devastated. There were poor countries. The people needed stability, peace, and order to become better. But this war make trouble and and a lot of chaos. So, in conclusion, there was a lot of problems. The world didn't needed this kind of trouble and confusion, but in the end, these bands, socialism and capitalism, are for something. They help and they have positive and negative aspects. So depends on how the country works and how they apply it is how it's gonna be. That's my opinion. Here are my upper references. I hope you like this. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit trapped. It's just that I'm a little bit sick, but thank you for listening. And I hope you had a great day, night, or evening. Thank you.